Hey everybody, it's Michael. So, we're getting to the end of October, and we're getting ready just to get started with where we started our soybean harvest. So far, we haven't gotten too many of our soybeans done yet, mainly because our beans they just haven't been dry enough yet, and like the plant is dead. The plants are all brown, leaves all come off, but inside on the plant itself, the soybean needs to be dry enough to run through the combine, through the thrashing process, so that way we can separate the grain from the rest of the plant. And we're close. And then it's also for soybeans to be in storage, they need to be less than 15%. Uh, So coming out of the fields on soybeans, it's not too hard to get them dry enough, 13, 14, 15%. Uh, but if they're a little bit more, like 17% moisture, 18%, that's okay. They'll just get dried down through a grain dryer. But yeah, so we got one field done of our soybeans. The yield this year hasn't been wasn't the greatest, mainly because this was a fantastic year to grow anything, especially located up here in Messina, New York. We The spring started off crazy. It was just cold. It was just cold and consistently uh, wet slash damp all the way up until like June, which made it a challenge for us to get our crops planted. And so a lot of the crops that we did get planted, it wasn't until middle to end of June, and so we ended up planting a lot of shorter day corn. We planted a variety of soybeans that was a little shorter day, like to be fully mature. And then what happened is once the rain stopped and the cold weather subsided, and it just became hot and dry. And this is so from Augsburg to Messina, there's a little swath right along the St. Lawrence River. And as of right now, we are currently in a severe drought. And there's only one other year for me growing up so far, that was 5 years ago now, that we've actually been like so dry, like, where that it affected us. And this year, once the rain stopped, nothing grew. So a lot of the times we would do 3 cuts off of hay fields. We had 2 cuts maybe, or we just left it. There's no yield out there. But what it did for the grain itself is, in order the soybean plants, they looked good considering the lack of rain. But in order for the soybean plants to now develop the actual bean itself, it requires moisture. And we barely got enough moisture towards the end of the summer for the plant to develop a decent sized soybean. So a lot of the soybeans, there's not many beans in each pod on the plant, and they're also on the smaller side. So that's just gonna hurt our yield this year, but it is what it is. But anyway, so we just got started with that, and we've been also planting winter rye too. And our winter rye, so we do it as both a cover crop, but also we're doing it as forage for next year for the dairy cows, because winter rye, it's an interesting plant. You can plant the seed all the way up until the ground freezes. If the ground was bare and the temperature is above 32 degrees in the middle of winter, it will start to grow again, or keep growing. So it's a very aggressive plant. It's a scavenger plant, so we use it as a cover crop because it produces a huge root base really quickly, and it helps to collect up all like the nitrogen, the potash, the phosphorus that's in the ground and hold it there in the plant so it doesn't wash away through the fall, winter, and early spring out of the soil. And then it also helps with ground erosion. So like if we have soybeans or corn planted on a field, especially hillsides or highly erodible ground, it'll help to hold that soil together, and so we don't lose topsoil. So we've got a couple hundred acres of winter rye planted so far. There's about 30 that's planted that's going to be harvested for our own winter rye seed next year. So we've been focusing on that. Our goal is to get every bit of our soybean ground also planted with winter rye. So as soon as we get these beans off, we're running a no-till soybean planter, or not planter, soybean, or we're running a no-till grain drill, which is able to just put the seed right into the ground without having to till it up. And so we've been doing that, and we're just waiting for the weather to kind of have some breaks in the sun again. We had a few showers finally, but that's what we're going to get started once the weather turns for the better again. So we started this grain business. This is our 4th year now doing it, kind of any scale. And there's been a lot of challenges to it. It's been a learning curve, especially running bigger equipment, covering more land. It just requires to pay attention more. If a mistake happens, it costs a lot more too. So, but it's been fun. So we've also been working on getting like the end of the year. We're all done our hay for the year, so we've been pressure washing up all of our equipment simultaneously. That way we can put it under a machine shed and it can all be tucked away for the winter, and we can start doing all our repairs on it to get ready for next cropping season. And we've been continuously still building out our delivery routes that we run. So what we're building is the ability to run a home delivery service where we are providing our own products, whether it's bacon or ground beef, where we also sell other local products such as honey or syrup or summer sausage or so on and so forth. And we're building routes and we're building fantastic customers that like what we do because we're actively working on becoming our milk routes. And the milk routes is over these years I've been trying to figure out how to continue making a life in dairy farming, but not doing it the conventional way. And the conventional way is tough because as I've talked before, like our cost of production is, we get paid in dairy farming off of every 100 pounds, and basically when 9 months or many months of the year, what we get paid in our cost of production is always almost on pace to be exactly the same, a little less, and then there's typically a few months where we get paid more than our cost of production. So it's always tough, as most farms, dairy farms, they're always struggling because it's just either you may be turning over a lot of dollars, but because of the amount of money it takes in order to produce that milk and run an operation, it just requires so much, and especially if you're not milking thousands and thousands of cows, where the new model across the country is 10,000 cows is what makes it quote unquote efficient, where they're spreading their cost of production of milk over 10,000 cows. It doesn't matter if you milk 10,000 cows or you milk 100 cows. It still costs you about the same to produce that milk. You still get paid the same as a commodity sense. The only difference is they have the ability to have more cash flow. So when it can help, it helps spread out, the breakdowns, the hard times, and so on and so forth. Because when milk prices are good as a commodity sense, then they're able to, recuperate a lot of that money back relatively quickly. But then it's always an up and down cycle. So for myself, we'd never been a large dairy farm. At the most we milk 70. Well, we were milking at the most about 60, 65 cows. Our barn ties up 74, because we would keep our dry cows in the barn, and it just didn't work out. It's always been tough because you're working on slim margins. So for myself, for being a younger farmer or younger entrepreneur in the business, is I've been trying to figure out how to do it differently. So this way we can serve more people, create more of a lasting legacy, or have one farm that can reach a ton of homes. And so that's what we decided to do. Is that I talked to you before, I just decided just to start door knocking and then start building these routes and so on and so forth. And it's not like a new idea. All it is it's just new, I guess, to our communities, because it hasn't been done in many decades. So we've been out door knocking. I got a couple young guys that have been helping. We just go door to door to door, say, hey, this is who we are, and want to be a part of us. So we're giving it everything we got. And what's going to be fun is we have daylight savings coming up. Weather's getting a little cooler, so we're going to still be out there just giving it our all, and just hustling away. But yeah, it's working out. It's actually, we've had a lot of our customers. We're met with a lot of love, a lot of support. People that want to be a part of our mission are finding it exciting. We've had some great customers recently leave some awesome reviews for us, which we're very thankful for. And we're not perfect. We are still an active farm. We're not this massive manufacturing company or massive processing plant or anything by any means yet. We're super small. But the nice thing is we're trying, and we appreciate all of the customers, all of you guys that know that we're trying and are willing to still support us and be a part of this journey. Because the one thing that is that in order to do what we're doing, I can't do it without our customers to want to support us and to know that the interest is there. We just have to basically just let everybody know that we're here, and then find you guys that want to be a part of this system we're building. So it's pretty cool getting to learn. Learn about everybody, conversations. People look forward to us coming. So yeah, excited to see where we can take this and let it go.